that person living in Dartford, I have to question their integrity. Quite simple. So, yeah, you can call me Danny Boy if you want, but I've already responded, not reacted. I should do stand-up comedy, innit? It's like a heckler. Oh, there you go. Exposure, who was doing the drive time earlier today. His show is 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Friday. So that's 11 a.m. Oh, sorry. What am I talking about? Look, that's in the day. I was thinking 11 right back round because I heard him in the night. All right, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. All right, that's DJ Exposure. I love the way he done the drive time. I love the way he handed over. It's teamwork. I like that teamwork. Each one helps one. I love that. Can you beat my chest, Exposure? Love. And I'll thank the management for that text. Thank you for that. And that's how we do on here. Right. 1985. I remember watching the TV and hearing about some black people from Dartford. Joke. Some black people in Brixton. Mashing up the place, basically doing what we did in Jamaica when we lost an election or we didn't get the building works, and we were just completely frustrated and we were broke and tired and fed up, and they just took that Jamaican vibe of we're not taking no more. Something I go bun, fire for bun, somebody I'll go get mash up, right? And I remember seeing the screens of Brixton or brothers in flares. And then, remember those hats they used to have back in the day, those little flat caps? Kind of like that one, but they were a bit more rounded. And they had that walk, that bad man walk. You remember them bad man walk? They had the bad man walk. And I don't know about you, but I found it inspiring that people that looked like me were standing up to the authorities, the police. And basically, I didn't really know the ins and outs of why there was a riot. I just thought it was just social deprivation and abuse and institutional racism and lack of economic and opportunities and lack of employment and poor schooling and poor housing. I thought that was what it was. And to a certain extent, that was the keg, the powder keg that was sitting down there waiting to be ignited. Now, as I got older, moved to London, I found it. Well, I didn't even find. No, I didn't. You know what I found out? I lie. I found out about 2 months ago. Was it 2 months ago? That this gentleman who's in the studio now said, I need to speak to you. Can we meet up? And I met up with him in Brixton. And I've known this gentleman for some time. Now, the gentleman I'm speaking about is Brandy Lee of the After Dark crew. Now, when I say Brandy Lee of the After Dark crew, we're talking about a DJ outfit that has pretty much been there, done it, and are still doing it. All right? Strong, knit, family, run club nights in South London. I remember the club nights, absolute roadblock, and I've been to other parties. I must say you are the best dressed in the After Dark crew. No, seriously, I have to say that you are. You got some swagger about you. I know Fox is hearing now. No, but Fox got better tracksuits than you. No, he has. Fox got some heavy tracksuits. Seriously. Fox got some bad boy tracksuits. I don't know what you're talking about. I just love the way Fox drops the tracksuits. Just make them official. You know, certain people wear a tracksuit don't look official. Fox make a tracksuit look official, and it's not no joke thing. Don't laugh. It's a serious thing. But you're probably the only man other than myself I've seen in a cravance in a nightclub. You know, them little short scarves. Swagger. So I always looked at you and thought, this guy got a bit of style about him. I didn't know the history. I knew him, but I didn't know the history. All right, and I know I sound jovial. I always sound jovial, but don't be mistaken. This is a very serious topic for me. It's a very momentous occasion. He called me. He said, "Can we meet?" We met, and he brought a folder. Did you bring a folder? Yeah. Right. He brought a folder, and he opened up the folder, and he said, "I don't know if you know, but I am the son of the woman who was shot in 1985 by police officers, which was the ignition for the Brixton riots." I'm like, "No, you're not." He said, "Yes, I am. I am the son of Sherry Groce." And then he broke it down and then started to show me the paperwork and went on to tell me that he was also there when his mother was shot by police officers. Flabbergasted. absolutely flabbergasted that somebody who has seen, someone who logs in on the radio after me, was actually living history. I was amazed, absolutely amazed. Proud as well to know that it was our history is in touching distance. I felt proud that, you know, you don't know who you're walking beside sometimes. So, yeah. Ghetto celeb, businessman. I can't call you a businessman, right? Ghetto celeb, well loved. One of us, one of ours. Keeping it real, as we like to say. Ain't getting rich and switch. And I'm looking at him now. He look rich. He ain't getting rich and switch. He ain't moved out to Dartford. Sorry. But he's in the studio. And I'll tell you why he's in the studio. His mother died on the 30th of April this year. 24th. The papers say the 30th. I knew something was wrong. The papers got it wrong. Sorry. The 24th. That's probably the date of when I read it in the paper. Anyway. Easter Sunday. 24th of this year, his mother died. I'm going to get into the ins and outs because I believe I read somewhere, but I'm going to ask you. I read that it was as a long-term effect of the shooting. I don't know how true that is, but we're going to speak to you. Now, he's in the studio today. I'm interviewing Danny God on behalf of Lightning FM, so you should switch your recorders on and start recording. He's got something he wants to do to celebrate his mom's memory. She's a courageous woman. She never really blamed anyone. She's never done an interview. Never, ever done an interview as far as I'm aware. No interviews? No interviews on the shooting and the Brixton riots. The story he told me made me feel, in my personal opinion, that she was done a wrong on. Yeah, the situation wasn't handled correctly. The middle class, the black elites took advantage of our desperation in Brixton and used it to promote their own career. That was my personal opinion. We'll speak about that as well and the individuals involved. But she moved with dignity. They said she was going to live for a certain amount of time. She lived longer. She raised her family. And for me personally, she died in the best way possible, which was around her family, which if I could go that way, I'd be happy. But we're going to go into the ins and outs of who she was, what happened, and what is going to happen, because we want to commemorate this woman in a very, very special way. A very special way. So if you were there during the Brixton riots, or you were one of the people who watched the Brixton riots, or you felt passionate about the Brixton riots, or you identify with the Brixton riots, this is an opportunity for you to make history. So stay tuned to this show, God's Talk Show, here on lightningfm.co.uk. I'm going to take a little break, I think. I'm going to play this. Have a listen, just to, if you were there at the time. This was the news at the time. Have a listen to this.
No, I'm not going to go.
Charles Bronson stars in Cabo Blanco on Monday at 10:05 on BBC One.
And now we go over to Jan Leeming for a news report.
Fires are still burning in Brixton in South London after an evening of rioting. It began as a demonstration of anger after police had shot and seriously wounded a woman while searching her house. Then a crowd attacked the police station and gangs of youths began burning and looting buildings. 31 policemen and 5 civilians have been hurt. Mike Mackay has been at Brixton all evening.
This was the corner of Brixton Road and Loughborough Road 5 hours after trouble began outside the local police station. Petrol bombs rained down as riot squad police held the line behind their shields. Similar scenes were occurring all round Brixton as the disturbances spread in all directions from the Brixton police station. Fire and ambulance services trying to enter the area found many streets blocked off. At the corner of Cold Harbour Lane, a 4-storey building collapsed after being set alight by petrol bombs. The top 3 stories were flats over a furniture shop, but they were thought to be unoccupied. By this time, hundreds of firemen and scores of fire engines were dealing with burning buildings, mostly leaving blazing cars simply to burn themselves out. Throughout the night, dozens of cars were taken from their owners and turned into blazing barricades. hundreds of shops within half a mile of Brixton Police Station were looted and wrecked.
Mike Mackay reporting. That's all from the newsroom for now.
Right. Sherry Groce, whose shooting by police sparked the Brixton riots, dies age 63. Now, doctors did say she wasn't going to live to see 63. They were surprised that she lived to see 50, to see 40, but she lived to see 63. So that's a testimony to her strength and her greatness as well. The woman whose accidental shooting by police led to the 1985 Brixton riot has died, her family said yesterday. Dorothy Groce, known as Sherry, was paralyzed from the waist down after Inspector Douglas Lovelock shot her through the lung and spine. Officers were hunting her son, Michael, now a community worker, on suspicion of armed robbery when they burst into her London home. It sparked a 2-day riot with shops looted and petrol bombs thrown. Mom of 8, Mrs. Groce, was given compensation but was left wheelchair-bound. She died age 63 on Easter Sunday of kidney failure, surrounded by her family. Son, Lee, I won't disclose your age, but Lee is in the studio right now, said it's a very sad and difficult time. She lived for 26 years after the shooting, despite it being predicted that she would live for only 10. Mom was a fighter, and she never gave up. She neither complained or blamed anyone. Speaking about the shooting, from which... Take out mine, yeah. Speaking about the shooting, for which Inspector Lovelock was cleared of malicious wounding, Lee said justice wasn't served. They were allowed to get away with what they did to my mom. You good to talk?
Yeah, once I sort out these bloody headphones.
All right, sort them out. This is lightningfm.co.uk. We are going to take text, and we are going to take calls. We're not going to take calls right now, and do bear in mind that things are still raw for Brandy Lee, because the funeral hasn't taken place yet. Things are being planned. That's why he's here to speak about the plans and how he'd like you to join in with those plans and the actual day. So things are still raw. So be sensitive. Show some empathy with your text messages. If you'd like to send condolences or any message of any kind, so long as it's positive, keep them positive and uplifting. Do so by giving us a text on 07944. That's 07944 254908. That's 07944 254908. We will open the phone lines after I finish speaking with Brandy. So if you want to call in and make a comment live, you can do so. If you want to ask a question of Brandy live, you can also do so. This is Lightning FM. So, living history. How is it you manage to keep that experience so private for so long?
Good question. Well, that's my mum. She was quite a private and dignified person. Although she was, she was, how can I put it? She was happy that she had so much support in the community after what happened to her. In the same breath, she didn't like the limelight. She didn't like the spotlight. So that's hence why she never had interviews. She never wrote a book. We had calls from BBC, Channel 4, ITV, constantly calling to ask if she would tell her story, and she said no. She could have made loads of money from it, but that's not the kind of person she was. Before the incident, she was quite a private person, and she remained a private person after the incident. So I think I got that from Mum, where never really spoke about it, because I considered that to be something that was quite personal. So it would only be somebody that was really close to me that would know, who my mum was and what happened. So yeah, that's basically it.
Did you find